Alright, this is a guy I've been hunting for. This is the Transformers War for Cybertron Siege 35th Anniversary Deluxe Class Bluestreak. That is quite the mouthful of a title there. It's already a lot with the War for Cybertron Siege, but adding on the 35th anniversary it's just a lot. That's definitely not going in the title of this video. But Deluxe Class Bluestreak. So obviously he's just a recolor of Prowl, which is a-okay with me because that's how it was in G1. But the car mode looks really nice. It's hard to make a kind of gray car like Bluestreak and such a forgettable character look so nice, but it's really, really nice and slick. And I know with Siege there's supposed to be like Cybertronian, but they keep them ambiguous enough that really it could be Cybertronian or Earth mode. But this one is like, it feels a lot more believable for Bluestreak as for this being an Earth car than it did for Prowl. Because for Prowl, it's like, oh yeah, that's a really trippy and kind of like futuristic looking police car. It didn't really seem like it made much sense. But for just being some bougie sports car, I think it works as an Earth mode. He comes with these weapons, which are well, this is the same weapon that, gosh, dropping things. This is the same weapon that Prowl came with. Pretty much, I think, pretty much the same. I think maybe his was white. I can't remember if it was white or white painted silver. And then he also comes with these two guns, which are the same kind of guns that Barricade came with. There's a few different ways that these can store on the vehicle mode. He's got these same slots up here, just like Prowl did, but now he's got actually the weapons to put them there. So you can take this peg of the gun and put them on there. And have that going on. It's kind of cool looking as like an attack mode, but personally I'm not a big fan of like just storing the guns on the vehicle mode by just pegging them onto the top, because like it kind of defeats the purpose of robots in disguise. I don't know, I'd much prefer it when they can store somewhere underneath. And then you can also, as I had them originally, you can plug them together like this, and they can plug into the top of the gun here, and then that can plug onto the top, or you can just plug this straight on top if you prefer, which you could put this off to the side, but then it's like asymmetrical, so I don't know how you do that, but whatever you want. The gun is actually a little bit loose in this peg hole compared to how it was on Prowl, but again, I mean, for me, it might as well just be free weapons that I toss into my box of weapons, because when they can't really store underneath, for me, it's essentially the figure does not come with weapons, which I know is not how everyone does it, but it's, I don't know, I don't like it when they can't store inside the car mode. But putting the weapons off to the side, for some vehicle mode comparisons, here is with Prowl. So obviously same mold, but like I was saying earlier, I don't know, it just looks a lot more sleek and clean to me, and a lot more believable as like a bougie sports car than as a police car, at least on Earth. Here he is with Siege Sideswipe. So, I mean, same as how it compares with Prowl, but, and then just for a mold that a lot of people have, here is with Combiner Wars Dead End. As for transformation, he's obviously the exact same as Prowl. So you untab the doors here, then rotate the arms out this way. Oops, sorry. And then rotate them out like that. You can rotate them up now if you want. The back kind of comes untabbed here, and then you can fold it out on that double hinge, and then extend out the knees, rotate them at the waist, unpeg the legs, rotate these pieces down, and then flip out this heel piece. Rotate his head. You don't have to rotate his head around for vehicle mode. I just like doing it because it's, you know, just one less visible part in the vehicle mode, even from the underside, which I usually don't care about, but just figured since it's an option. Then you can flip out this piece right here, which becomes his abdomen. And then from the back, you can push in this piece and it rotates down. And then there's a cavity here in his back that you kind of double hinge it into. And then bring this whole section around like that, peg it in, bring his arms down, and there you have Bluestreak. Let me just adjust the camera here. That's not a good look. Looks like he's broke his back or something. Ooh, sorry about that. Okay. And here you have Bluestreak. I think he looks really nice. It's nice that they give him a bit of silver paint, and maybe that was, you know, they have more of a paint budget for the 35th anniversary figures because they want them to look really nice. Because like Bluestreak is such a forgettable sort of character from the original 1984 cast, so it's nice that they kind of gave him a shiny treatment to make his toy a little bit more appealing. Yeah, looks pretty nice. In terms of articulation, again, just like Prowl, you can rotate his head, full 360. You can get a little bit of tilt, but not really enough to be relevant. The shoulders, obviously rotate 360. You can move them out to the side that far, and then these shoulder pads, if you want the peg hole to be on the side or on the top, you can do that however you like. He's got a bicep swivel, a just about 90-degree hinge at the elbow, wrist swivel, waist swivel. For his hips, you can go out pretty much that far. Oh, it's got a bit of a soft ratchet. I didn't notice that with Prowl. He's got a thigh swivel, and then he gets a really deep knee bend, which is nice. Ankles can tilt down this way, and then can also go forward even a bit more than for transformation and go back. So really nice foot articulation, even though when he kind of widens his feet, it looks a little bit strange with the car part separated like that, but pretty good. And the doors can also hinge back and forth. An issue I had with my Prowl was that, well, both of his knees really, but especially the left knee was really loose, like really floppy, and it's not that way with Bluestreak, which is nice. I was kind of worried about that. He's got his weapons. A few things you can do with them. Obviously, you can hold these by those pegs just for some double wielding action, dual wielding rather. You can use those same slots that were in robot or vehicle mode to give him his sort of shoulder launchers, and then give him this one in his hand, which fits much more snugly than in vehicle mode, thankfully. Or, you know, you could tab these back together and give him like a super gun. Really, whatever. And in terms of storage, since he doesn't have the light bar that Prowl had, can all stick back here, which is good. And in terms of comparisons, here he is again with Prowl. Obviously, same mold. Kind of wish they did a different head sculpt, since in the cartoon, Bluestreak's horns kind of pointed forward instead of up, but it's fine. It's close enough. So you can see where they chose to put the different decals, just to differentiate the figures a little bit. Here he is again with Sideswipe. You can see Sideswipe's maybe like a hair taller, but they look pretty good together. And again, just with Dead End for that common mold. Since he's a siege figure, he can use all sorts of the, you know, Battle Masters and Micromasters and all the effects parts. So you can obviously use these guys to kind of arm him up more than the weapons that came with him. His arms are maybe a little bit too weak to hold up some of the Micromaster weapons, but it's alright. And then he's got all these like all the Siege figures do. All these ports, so you can kind of make it look like he's getting shot or blasted. And then those can also, let's find some more, plug onto his weapons. Those ones, and I believe they plug on these ones too. Can't imagine they wouldn't. Yep. But yeah, he's a pretty good figure overall. I don't know whether I like him or Prowl better. I think that he might be edging out Prowl just a little bit, but I'm a little bit biased since my Prowl has that stupid loose knee joint. But I think I like the vehicle mode much better than Prowl just because it's feels like it could be more of a believable Earth mode, regardless of whether or not the designers wanted that or not. But yeah, he looks pretty nice. That is Transformers War for Cybertron Siege 35th Anniversary Deluxe Class Bluestreak. Thanks for watching.